This looks like one of those, I don't know, yearbook photos, like the 2017, wherever you went to high school choir,
Right. So the senior play, right. And you'll play King Lear, and I'm in the back room
slaying them.
Playing the Lightning and Thunder.
Listen, speaking of lightning and thunder, the Penguins brought the lightning. It was, of course, they should have brought more lightning against Tampa Bay the other night, but they were unable to beat them. But they did beat that other team from Florida, the Panthers. Matt Murray had 43 saves. Sidney Crosby had a couple of goals. Patrick Hornquist had a goal. And there's this new guy. Tell us about him.
You talking about Ryan Reeves?
No. The guy
Greg McKay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A nice pickup. I mean, I knew they were going to miss Cullen. And
got a goal last night, right?
You're right, but a shorthanded goal, and brings energy and speed. So he looks like a nice pickup for them.
All right, so are we now over the panic of the Penguins? What happened to our Pittsburgh Penguins, the defending Stanley Cup champions?
Well, I was never one in panic mode. This is a tough stretch for them. 6 games in 11 days. Their early part of the season, a lot of games on the road. They have to weather this stretch, and then I think you can make a judgment. But yeah, I mean, their core is still there. There's a lot of pride in that room. This is a championship team, and nobody has better hands than Sidney Crosby.
Listen, when you think of them, you have to think of Mike Sullivan. Why has he made such a difference, do you think? When a lot of coaches have been great, but he's been able to take them to the next level.
Stability. He's been consistent with the message, consistent with the system. They know what to expect from him. He expects certain things from them, and he'll let them know if it doesn't happen. But and I think he absorbs a lot of the criticism that the players take too. So he's got their backs. It's a good fit. I liked him from the start.
All right, we all were trying to figure out earlier today as we walked the line with Ted Arnaud, the Bambino who's shooting this. He had his picks. Of course, Greg Dale is on vacation, but he sent his picks in. You had yours. The question is, Steelers are they're underdog by 4.5. The question is, what really is wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers, if anything, at 3-2?
Well, when you lose, you're open to all kinds of criticism. Certainly a 5-pick game with 2 pick sixes looks really bad on the quarterback's resume. They haven't been able to run the ball consistently with Lev Bell. Offensive line has been, a little ragged. Other teams have been able to run the ball against them, so it's never one thing, but it's a combination of things. But it's not the Steelers we expected, because you thought that the Steelers in Kansas City would be the elite teams in the AFC, and that hasn't happened yet.
All right, in closing...
It hasn't with Kansas City, but it hasn't.
One of the things that Ted Arnaud said earlier today, if the Steelers would happen to win this game big, does that erase everything, and we start breathing again to where they maybe just did hit a few bumps in the road?
Winning's the best deodorant. Winning has 1,000 fathers, defeats an orphan all its own. So, yeah, they win today. Everything's forgiven.
And as he was talking about last week's opponent, I heard that there was some scuttlebutt that Eli Manning possibly could be traded to Jacksonville before the trading deadline of October 31st. And he said he believes they're a quarterback away from being a great football team. So maybe Jacksonville did what a lot of people think they could do, beat teams like the Steelers.
Well, again, look at that, what the difference a running back makes, and they seem to have a really good defense. So maybe it is that kind of a situation.
And we say goodbye by saying hello and a shout out to your mom, Marcy. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, she's in a personal care home. She's still fighting. It's been a struggle, but she's a fighter. So best wishes, Mom. And thank you for raising me. Love you.
And my fan club happens to be a wonderful woman who's moving to North Huntington who sent me 3 things that I definitely need. Everyone should have one. It's like having a basement in Western Pennsylvania. A dish towel. Forget paper towels. We all grew up with dish towels. And a set, after a long day of in the kitchen, and a Betty Crocker cookbook.
You got the trifecta right there.
Tell the folks who we're talking about.
Viola Franchi from Monroeville. An avid listener to the show, really loves Rob and appreciates you talking about her hometown of
Bridgeport,
Ohio, in the valley there where Lou the Toad Rosa and all the other greats came from.
Phil and Joe Necro, and also John Havlicek, who played for the Boston Celtics.
Bill Mazeroski at the bottom of that.
That's right.
Tillotson.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Dvorak, Greg Dale is back next week, as we will be with the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show each and every Sunday at 11. Good afternoon.
You've been a beautiful audience.